I once again welcome you all of you the lecture series of microprocessors and microcontrollers. Today is day 11, so 4th May 2021. Today we are going to discuss the architecture of the 8086 microprocessor. Okay, so before going to that one, you want to see the basic structure of the microprocessor. Okay, yes, see this. This is the CPU. CPU contains ALU, arithmetic and logical unit. It has registers. So we have four different category of registers. Segment registers, and second one is the then general purpose registers, and third one is the flag registers, and the fourth one is the pointer and the index registers. Four different category of registers are there. All the registers available in this 8086 microprocessor 16-bit registers. Yes, then another one is the timing and control unit. So this timing and control unit is connected by the clock. So quartz crystal clock. So this quartz crystal clock is supplying clocks to this timing and control unit. So it can send the some fixed number of clocks to the each and every component present in this microprocessor. At the same time, memory and the input output devices to control the devices. Okay, but suppose whenever you want the data from the this memory, RAM and ROM memory. So microprocessors want the data is nothing but, so whatever the data present in the memory, that the data you want that one. That means here you want to perform the read operation, nothing but a copy operation, read operation or copy operation, or you can simply represent the RT bar. So whenever it performs this operation, microprocessor is send some fixed number of clocks. A clock is like this, a fixed number of 4 clocks. RT bar is nothing but a 4 clock. 1, 2, 3, and 4. 4 clocks are required. Similarly, microprocessor send some information to the uh, memory, so that on the time you will perform the write operation. So this one also it requires the some fixed number of clocks. Okay, a fixed number of clocks. Yes, this is the 1, 2, 3, and 4, so on. So for each and every operation, for read operation, write operation, or move instruction, or move instruction, or nothing but like that instruction, add instruction, subtract instruction, whatever it may be. So for every instruction, there is a fixed number of clocks is supplied by this timing and control unit to this various devices. Okay, now this is the very critical one, the interfacing unit, nothing but the, so if you are able to connect this memory as well as input output devices, any outer side devices, you are going to connect the by using this interface unit, nothing but the pins. We have only 40 pins. This microprocessor is the 40 pin microprocessor. Out of these 40 pins, we are going to connect any of the memory device as well as the input output device. Okay, now see this, this is the basic pin diagram of the microprocessor. This is the 40 pins. You see this 40 pins microprocessor. So this clocks is available in the 5 megahertz clock, 8 megahertz clock, 10 megahertz clock. The three variants are available. So this 8086 microprocessor is works in two different modes. Okay, is works in two different modes, minimum mode as well as the maximum. Okay, it will work in two different modes, minimum mode as well as the maximum mode. You know that only one pin is here, this pin is available to change the one mode to another mode. If it is equal to the 1, it will work as a minimum mode. If it is equal to the 0, okay, as a maximum. Okay, now see today topic, the architecture of the 8086 microprocessor. Now you can observe this. This is the architecture. So this is the architecture of the microprocessor and 8086 microprocessor architecture. All of you take the pen and paper and will note of this one. So this is the architecture of the 8086 86 microprocessor. So this is the this processor is like this. So the internal parts, the internal structure of this microprocessor, you are dividing like this. You know that we have different types of buses. Internal data bus, see this internal data buses. Okay, and then address, you know that address and data lines, 80 to the 8015, A16 to the A19, and S3 and S6 status lines. Yes, timing and control unit this is. Okay, so these are the resistors. You know that resistors, you have four different category of resistors are there. So yes, this is this structure, this entire structure is available in this here. So whenever you anyone ask in the examination, you can draw this architecture of the microverse. It will okay. Okay, this is the structure. You see this structure. So different, you know that we are in this architecture, microprocessor have four different category of the registers. So now see this, these are the general purpose register, these are the point registers, these are the index registers, this is the ALU, this is the flag registers, this is the segment registers. Okay, yes, you get this some clarity on this one now. Now you get this clarity on this one. So for our simplicity purpose, for easy understanding purpose, we are going to divide this entire architecture into the two different parts. That is the bus interface unit. First one is the bus interface unit, and second one is the execution unit. For our simplicity purpose, you can divide it, this entire see this entire architecture into the two parts: bus interface unit, and next one is the execution unit. Bus interface units, you can also call it as a BIU. Then second one is the execution unit, you can also call it as a, or you can also spell it as a EU. Okay, now see this, you can observe this, a bus interface unit, it contains the registers like general purpose registers AX, BX, CX and DX, then stack pointer, base pointer, source index register, destination index register. At the same time, ALU flags, you know that ALU means a arithmetical logical unit. It is a 16-bit unit, a 16-bit unit. Why it is 16-bit only? Because these registers are the 16 bits. That's why only this ALU is also 16-bit. So arithmetic and logical unit. Arithmetic operations is nothing but addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division operations. Then logical units are nothing but the AND operation. Okay, OR operation, not operation, increment operation, decrement operation, then compare operations like less than operations, greater than operations, and equality operations. So different types of any mathematical operations is performed by this ALU. So arithmetic and logical unit. You know that flag registers. So we have 16-bit flag registers is there. 16-bit flag registers. Okay, uh, uh, yes, you see this, you know that you have different types of flags are there. So carry flag, auxiliary flag. Okay, then parity flag, trap flag, DA flag, overflow flag, like that. We have different types of flags are there. Now you can observe this, this is the timing and control unit. You know that what is the functionality of the timing and control unit. You know this timing and control unit is connected to the each and every part of the microprocessor. You see this, you can observe these arrows, you can observe these arrows, you can observe these arrows. It is connected to each and every part of the microprocessor. At the same time, outer side of the devices also, it can send these some clocks. How it will be operated, you know that. So how, you know that as a timing and ALU is the brain of the computer, you know that this timing and control unit is the heart of the computer. So nothing but CPU. How our heart is pumping some bloods through the veins by allowing the each and every part in our human body, like that. So this timing and control unit is connected to the each and every part in the CPU, nothing but the CPU, nothing but the structure. At the same time, outer side of the structure is nothing but the memory and input output devices. Okay, so how it can be controlled? Okay, it is connected. How it can be controlled? It can send the some fixed number of a fixed number of clocks. A fixed number of clocks. A clock is nothing but this one. Yes, this one. A clock is nothing but this one. Like this clock is like this. It can send the for each and every operation a fixed number of clocks to perform the operations and to control this one each and every part in the microprocessor. Okay, so this is the execution unit. Then coming to the bus interface unit. So this bus interface unit, it has the segment registers. So code segment registers, data segment registers, tag segment registers, and extra segment register, and another one is also there, IP index point register is also there. Then it has the another one is also there, instruction byte. So in the while discussing the pin diagram of the 8086 microprocessor, you know that Q status QS0 and QS1. On that time we'll discuss this one. So this has the 6 byte instruction queue, 3 and 4, 5, then 6 byte instruction queue. So it can take the 6 instructions at the same time from the memory and execute the one by one instruction to increase the performance of the microprocessor, nothing but to increase the speed of the microprocessor. So this one, you know that this is the buses. Buses is connected by the so each and every component. Okay, this one. So now see this. Now we will going to again once again see this. What is the functionality of each and every part that is divided by the execution unit as well as the bus interface unit. Now see this. For our simplicity purpose, I will redraw this one into the different. So execution unit as well as the bus interface unit. Now coming to the execution unit. What this execution unit is done. Now see this. This is the, yes, you can. I will divide it like this. I will divide it like this. Execution unit. This one is the execution. For suppose I will redraw this. What it done. For suppose I will write the program is like this: move ax comma bx. Move ax comma bx. Okay, or move ax comma cx, or something like that, or move bx comma ax, or whatever it may. Add ax comma bx. The same time subtract ax comma bx. Then multiply, mul is the instruction, x comma bx. The next instruction is divided. We can use the instruction is div x comma bx. Yes. Now we can observe this. So I will write the programming is like this. You see this. This we can call it as a mnemonic. This is the structure of the instruction structure. You can call it as a instruction structure. In another programming language, you can call it as a syntax. You know that syntax. So you mention the instruction is in a specific format, then only it can be able to execute it by this microprocessor. So in the microprocessor way, you can call it as an instruction. Okay, so a group of instructions, you can call it as a program. So in another programming languages like C language and something like, you know that there's some instruction, but there is some syntax here. So syntax, these are, you can call it as mnemonics. These we can call it as operands. Operands. You know that operands, we observe this operands. Most of the cases operands are these registers, general purpose registers. So what is the meaning of this one? Move ax comma bx. Once again, see this. Move ax comma bx. For suppose bx has the some value 08 for suppose. So whenever you want to perform the instruction, whatever the data that is present in the bx registers, that is moved to the So AX. So whenever this operation is executed by this microprocessor, so it shows the results. AX has the data 08. So this has the data 08. Whatever. Like that. So you observe this whenever you want to write the programming like this. So you must use the most of the cases as this arrays. As I said, the first class itself. So the entire programming structure, the size of the program, the size of the data is depends on this registers, this general purpose registers. You execute, you write the programming is like this. So that operands is not. So this AX, BX, and so on. You can call it as the operands. That operands is nothing but this registers. These registers are responsible for size of the program. Okay. So like this so whenever you want to send the data is information is like this. So for suppose you write the instruction is like this. So in the this is for this instruction, so this data is 8. So for again for this second instruction for C is the 9. So AX is the 09. So 8 is overwritten, remember 8 is overwritten. So it is only microprocessor is only perform the copy operation only, but it cannot perform the cut operations. It only copy and paste the information. Remember. So whenever you want to move the information from BX to the AX, so again BX is always then data 8 is there. So it cannot erase the data. Okay, so it can. So the only way to erase the data is you can overwrite it. Override it. Now see this microprocessor is executing second instruction move AX comma CX. For example, CX has some data 09. So now this instruction cycle, this instruction is executed by the microprocessor. So AX is contain the data is 9. So 8 is override by the 9 value. Okay, like this. So we perform the addition operations. So that will come into the ALU. Okay, a subtraction, multiplication, and the division, and the operation, and AX comma BX. Okay, not AX, something like that. You write the programming like that. So that that instructions is that AND operations, OR operations, multiple operations, division operations is performed by this ALU. Okay, so whenever you perform the this logical and arithmetic operations, if there is any flags are available, nothing but carry flag and pantry flag, so a overflow flag that are available, so that will be shown by this a flag register. What the execution unit is done here, execution unit is execute the yes instructions. See this point, execution unit is execute the instructions that have already been fetched by the BIU. So what is the performance of this bus interface unit? Bus interface unit fetches the instructions, reads data from the memory and IO input output devices ports, write the data to the memory and input output devices. It's simple, you cannot confuse that word. The execution unit is given some commands to the bus interface unit. If there is any instruction that is nothing but is given instruction to the bus interface unit, you fetch the required information from the memory to get the execution unit again and to execute the that instruction. I will tell you a simple example here once again. Do not confuse that one. Very easy example. For example, same example. Move AX comma 08 for suppose. So this is the language. You know that one. You know that one. That microprocessor doesn't understand this. So microprocessor only understand the language is 001101. This language you can call it as a machine language. This is the assembly level language. This you can call it as assembly level language. Why you can call it as assembly level language means here, so you write the programming like this, microprocessor convert is like this. So an assembler is there in between this one. So that's why you can call it as a assembly level language. You know that C language you can call it as a compiler. The C language you have complete can convert some instructions to the machine level language. Like this microprocessor, it has this some assembler is there. It can convert this some this mnemonics to the this instructions to the machine level languages. Where these mission codes are available, all the mission codes are stored. Where these mission codes are available, that are available in the memory. That are available in the memory. That are available in the memory. So memory, you have 16 logical segments: CS, DS, SS, ES. So the codes are available in this code segments. Where these code segments are available, these code segments are available in the memory. Okay, whenever microprocessors want to execute this instruction, move AX comma for suppose BX, AX comma BX or whatever it may be, move AX comma 08, whatever it may be, whatever the instruction it is, that codes are available in the a code segment register and nothing but a code segments. That code segments are available in the memory. So then how these code segments are identified by the microprocessor? That is identified by the microprocessor by using this code segment registers. These are the code segment registers. So whenever you want to write the programming is like this, move x comma bx, microprocessor is taken that instruction to this unit. Then this execution unit is tell this bus interface unit, you fetch the required information from the memory to execute the instruction. What execution unit is tell to that bus interface unit? Execution unit is tell given some commands to the bus interface unit. You fetch the required information from the memory or input output devices. Memory or input output devices. Okay, to fetch the fetching means to get the information or to send the information. Remember, to get the information, nothing but a copy, a read operation and write operation. Remember, microprocessors perform two operations. That means send the instruction or read, it can read the data or it can write the data. Okay, so it can fetch the information, that means to write the data or read the data. So for execution of the instruction, microprocessors perform the read instructions. So my execution unit is given commands to the bus interface unit. You fetch the required codes of this mnemonic from the memory. Once this command is taken by this bus interface unit, it can activate the required register code segment register, and generates the some addresses. You know that a 20 MB, a 20 MB size of the address locations are there. Sorry, 1 MB memory size of the address locations are there. So for this instruction, this code, where it is available, that code is developed by this that address is developed by this bus interface unit, and through this code segment register. Okay, once that address, for suppose that is available here, once that is identified, it can perform the, so it can given the bus interface unit is given the instructions to the timing and control unit. Then timing and control unit generates the read operation, or it initiate the read instructions. So once read instruction is performed, so whatever the data present in this one, it is coming to the again bus interface unit through the execution unit. Remember, a bus interface unit through the execution unit. Once the required data is coming to this execution unit, that instruction is executed in this general purpose registers. At the same time, ALU. Remember, the instruction execution is done at the execution unit, is nothing but the this side only, nothing but general purpose registers and as well as the ALU. So that program is not executed by the memory space. Okay, so it can only fetch the information from the memory through these code segments, or whenever you want to send the data, or whenever you want to fetch the data from that memory. Data, for suppose move ax comma 08. So once again, see this instruction is not at all completed. Okay, once microprocessor is knows that, okay, so they perform the move instruction, this code, mnemonic code. Then microprocessor is coming to the what information they are given. Move ax comma bx, or ax comma 08 or 09 or 123 or so on, whatever it may be. It's nothing but instruction format is nothing but mnemonic. Remember, see this, remember this one, mnemonic operands, operands. Okay, mnemonic operands, data, or address. Remember, data or address. This is the instruction format. This is the 6-byte instruction format only. A 6-byte instruction format. 6-byte instruction format is, so maximum instruction size is 6-byte only. So single byte is available, 2-byte is available, 3-byte is available, up to the 6-byte instruction only. So microprocessor is executed this one, move x comma bx. So code segment is identified. So move x comma bx is executed, or move x comma 08 is executed. So now microprocessor once again go to the, for suppose this x. So now identify the data. Microprocessor identify the data, and this data is it can identify where the data is available. AH or AL. Now, if it is a 8-bit data, now it can identify, enables the bus I interface. If it is available in AH, or it is available in AL. So, or nothing but you can write the AX is direct is available in the X, so it can simply execute that instruction. Simple. An execution unit is given some commands to the bus interface unit to fetch the information to the to fetch the required information to execute the instruction. Okay, according to that, bus interface unit go to the memory. How it is go to the memory locations? By through this registers, code segment registers, data segment registers, stack segment registers, and the extra segment registers. The once it is identify that address locations, then performs the read operation to get back to the bus interface unit, and coming to the execution unit through the address and the data lines, through the address and the data lines. Now see this, and one by one, once again you can see this. So, and bus interface unit, for suppose bus interface, you see this bus interface, it has address generation, code segment registers, then this queuing instruction, this instruction bus control logic, and so this address generation is responsible for generating the addresses, 20-bit addresses. So you have 4 different types of segment registers are available. You see this. So code segment registers, data segment registers, access segment registers. Yes, you know that why these are using. So next one, you know that this, you can see this segment registers. Segments. You know that what is the memory size of the 86 microprocessor? 1 MB, 1 megabyte. So it is divided into the 16 logical segments, each of 64 KB. So 16 into the 64 KB is equal to the 1 MB. So you know that microprocessor is generated 20-bit address. 20-bit address. 20-bit address. So physical address, we got 20-bit is a physical address. It has the segment address plus offset address. A segment address is responsible for identifying the starting address of the any of the segment. Okay, that may be a code, data, stack, or extras. This offset address is responsible for identifying the data that is available in the segments. Okay, now see this, the segment 0, segment 1, segment 2, segment 3, and so on is like this. Okay. Then next one, you can see the code segment register. You know that code segment register. Code segment register is a 16-bit register. So it is logically available in the four code segment registers in the microprocessor. At the same time, you have the data segment register is also available. Okay. So core segment registers, nothing but data segment register is also the 16-bit data segment registers. So now this where this data segment register address is available. So this data segment register address is available or generated by using the source destination index or destination index registers. This code segment register address is as generated by the it contains the index pointer. Then next one is the stack segment register. The stack segment, we know that stack we have the push and pull operation. Nothing but push and pop operation. Sorry, push and pop operations. This is also the 16-bit segment register. So this where this 16-bit segment register address is provided by the microprocessor, that is the base pointer register. So nothing but an extra segment register. This is also the 16-bit register. You know that data segment register and extra segment register are used for the data purpose. Data purpose. Data purpose. You know that this 16-bit address, this extra segment register address is provided by the destination index. Okay. Then next one is the instruction pointer IP. Let's see this instruction pointer. These are all are available at the bus interface unit. You see this but nothing but instruction point. What is the why we are using this instruction pointer? Very important. You know that microprocessor, for suppose move comma bx, move cx comma dx, for suppose add ax comma bx, subtract ax comma cx, for suppose like this. We are written is here for instruction. First of all, microprocessor executes remember one by one instruction. That will be called as queuing instructions. Queuing means a queue line, nothing but queue line, nothing but it can execute the first instruction, then after they coming to the second, then after coming to the third, then after coming to the fourth. How it is coming to the first instruction to the second, second to the third, third to the fourth. So that address that all is done by the instruction pointer. See this. So it can always points the next instruction to be executed within the current execution code sequence. So it contains the automatically incremented as the execution of the next instructions take place. Instruction first one is executed, then after coming to the second. So by these registers, nothing but instruction pointer register. Then coming to the instruction queue. So what is the advantage of this instruction queue? So what is the size of this instruction queue? 6 byte. 6 byte. So 6 byte instructions it is available. Nothing but this is the 6 byte. Or this one is the 6 byte. This one is the 6 byte. This is the 6 byte. This one is the 6 byte. This one is the 6 byte. This one is 6 byte. So all these are not the 6 byte. Remember, the 6 byte, you cannot confuse that one. This is the 6 byte. This is the 6 byte. This is the 6. This is 6. This is the 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 6 byte instructions are one at a time. It can take from the memory and store it in the this instruction queue. So like this. So it can execute the one by one instruction. So nothing but a first instruction is executed first, then after coming to the second, then after coming to the third only. So first in, first out. It's nothing but FIFO. First in, first out. So what is the advantage of this one? What is the advantage of this one? So microprocessor, so need not to go every time to the memory locations and take the instruction codes and all. So it can take the six instruction like this five or six instruction codes at a time and stored it in this queuing register. So then and then given these commands to this execution unit one by one, first come. Okay, so this is the main advantage of this 8086 microprocessor. This may be re- reduces the execution time. That means the instruction nothing but microprocessor speed is gradually increases. The next one I will see this execution unit. You know that execution unit is responsible for executing any of the instruction. You see this an execution unit as a general purpose registers, then ALU flag registers. So you know that AX we can divide into the AX is the 16-bit register that is divided into the 8-bit higher order, 8-bit to lower order, like the remaining register BX, CX, and the DX registers. So what this execution unit is done, so it can decode that instruction, whether it is a move instruction or add instruction or subtract instruction, then send it to the commands to the bus interface unit. You can identify that the code of that particular instruction. Whether it is a move, you can identify the move. For suppose you write the move X command instruction, this execution unit is decoded that one. So it is a move instruction. Then go to the command that move, then come back to the code and execute that. That is nothing but an assembler like that only. So then it has the ALU, arithmetic and the logical unit. It can perform the arithmetic instruction and the logical instructions. Okay. At the same time, it has some registers: stack pointer, base pointer, destination index, and the source index. These are responsible for producing the addresses of this registers: code segment register, extra segment register, stack segment registers, and this source index registers. Then you can see the execution registers, accumulator. So accumulator AX we can also call it as accumulator. So accumulator, most of the situations, always one of the operand is the accumulator. For suppose I read the programming, it is like move AX comma 09, move uh, BX comma 06, again add AX comma BX. So what is the answer of this one? F15 is nothing but the F. F is the answer, because microprocessor is shows the only data in the hexadecimal. It can take the data in the hexadecimal format. At the same time, it can use the information in the hexadecimal format. 15. So whenever you add the two numbers 09 and 06, first of all, you can convert the 1001 01106 1111 is nothing but the F. This is F. First of all, this data is converted to this machine learning language. Then add the data. Then this is the F. Where this F is available, where this F is stored, where this F is. So additional instruction is performed. Nothing but ALU. ALU is performed the additional instruction. Okay, ALU performed the additional instructions. And where the data is stored, this result is stored. Where the result is stored. Yes, that result is stored at the accumulator. You know, that's why one of the operand at the same time, the result, when you add the any numbers, you can subtract the numbers, you are division the numbers, or multiply the numbers, or incremented the numbers, decremented the numbers. That result is stored at the accumulator only. So once the data is available in the accumulator, you want the data to send the memory, then you can write the send instruction, a write instruction to store that information from AX to the memory device only. Otherwise, that is temporarily available the data at the AX before the execution before the execution of the next instruction. Once the for suppose you write the some instruction like this again. So 1, 2, 3, and fourth line I write the instructions subtract AX comma BX. Then which information is available here? The information is available 9 or F. Yes, that is available at the F. BX is the 6. Remember, because that address, that result is stored at the AX only. Once again, see this, you cannot confuse that one. Move AX comma 0, 5 for suppose. Move BX comma 0, 2. Okay, add AX comma BX. What is the result of this one? 0, 0, 2 is the result is 7. It's nothing but 0, 1, 1, 1. This is the code. So this result is stored at the now by execution of this instruction that AX has the five data. By execution of this instructions, BX is the 2 is the data. Then by execution of the add AX comma BX, the result of this AX is 7. Whatever the BX is 2. After this, I will execute the subtract AX comma BX for suppose. What is the answer of this one? AX has the data 7, not the 5, because microprocessor is execute the 1 by 1 instruction. So you can see the third instruction. Third instruction, we can execute the third instruction. What is the result of this third instruction? 7. So AX register has the data 7. Okay, so this is 7. Okay, then I can subtract the 2. So like that only. Okay. So the base register, you know that base register. So this is one of the operand registers. This is general purpose. The counter. This register is especially used in the counter operations from incremented to decremented at the same time. Shift, rotate, and loop instructions as a counter instructions. Okay. Then data register. So this is the 16-bit data register. You can use it as the data purpose to addition of the so division purposes, especially in the microprocessor. Then stack purposes, stack registers. You know that stack pointer and base pointer. Base pointer is provided the address of this stack register. Nothing but stack pointer and as well as the base pointer. You know that. You know that these are responsible for accessing the producing the data of the stack segment registers. Okay, you know that stack segments, stack is available is nothing but a separate memory is available for the stack, nothing but push and pop operations. Yes, see this pop and push operations. So stack pointer is used as an offset from the current stack segment register. So base pointer contains the offset address of the SS series. For suppose this is the SS. The starting address SS stack segment register is available is produced by the stack segment register. Then where the stack segment register address is available, that is available at the SP stack pointer. This is not, now you can call this as the nothing but the segment address. This is the segment address. You know that physical address is nothing but the segment address plus offset address. Yes, the segment address. Then where this offset address? This offset address is the 16-bit offset address. Where this who can generate this 16-bit offset address? Yes, this will be by the BP base point. Like that. So a source index register as well as the destination index register. These are also responsible for storing the data strings of the registers like data segment register as well as the extra segment registers. In order to identify the which one is data segment register as well as which one is the extra segment registers. Okay. Then next one we have the series flag register. You know that flag register, a 16-bit flag register. Out of the 16-bit, we are using only 9. Count that 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 only. Out of this 16-bit register, we are using only 9 flag. What are the 9 flags? CF carry flag. Whenever you want to perform the addition or subtraction instructions, the subtraction then borrow is available. So in the microprocessor way, borrow or carry you can consider as a same thing. If it is produced, it can shown by the then carry flag register is okay. Then a parity, you know that parity flag. So an even parity as well as odd parity. This parity is helpful to check whether you get the correct information or not. Then auxiliary flag. You know that what is auxiliary flag? Whenever you want to perform the BCD addition or subtraction, in between that, for suppose 001 1001. 001 for suppose we can perform the addition instruction. 1 means here 0 and 1 1 0 0 and 1, yes, BCD addition. So and carry is available in between one group to the second group, first group to the second group. The carry is forward in between this one, BCD addition and subtraction, that we can call it as a auxiliary carry. Then zero flag, some accumulator. Whenever you are perform the subtraction instruction or something instruction, accumulator is completely zero, that is shown by the zero flag. You know that sign flag and sign instructions. Whenever you are perform the signed binary operations, signed instructions, addition, subtraction, multiplication, after that 16-bit register, out of the 16-bit register, the most significant bit MSB, and the MSB is equal to 1, that is the negative number. That MSB is equal to 0, that is the positive number, that is shown by this sign flag register. Then where is the trap flag register, then interrupt register, then direction flag register, overflow flag register. You know that overflow flag register, whenever you perform the multiple operations or addition operations. So where the temporary result is stored at the accumulator. You know that the temporary result is always stored at the accumulator. If you can perform multiple operations, if the whenever the data obtained, that result is more than that 16-bit data, so on that time this overflow flag is set with microprocessor. You know that some general purpose registers you can convert into AHL, BH, some pointer registers, stack pointer, base pointer, then source index register, destination index register, index pointer, code segment register, data segment register, stack segment register, Excel segment register, then flag segment registers. So you know that registers and special functions. You know that what is accumulator series. Store the 16-bit result of the arithmetic and logical operations. Remember, it stores the 16-bit result of the arithmetic and logical instructions. Whenever the data is more than 16-bit, it can show overflow flag is set. Then. So then 8-bit accumulator can AL. So base point, it is used to hold the base value of the base address node to access the memory data. So this meaning you will thoroughly understand by using the one concept called addressing modes. So then counter, you know that increment counter, decrement counter, rotate operation, shift operation, loop instruction. You can use it this one. This where you can use this DX register, can use the multiple and uh, subtraction, nothing but division operation. This is the stack point. You can use the stack pointer to identify the offset address of the stack segment register. Then base pointer, you can use it to produce the starting address of the physical address of the offset address of the stack segment register. Then source index register so as well as the data index registers are responsible for identifying the instructions of the destination as well as the extra segment registers. Now, this is the end of the basic structure. Very easy this one. So it can divide into the two different categories, simple categories. So execution unit and bus interface unit. What this execution unit is told to that bus interface unit, it fetches the information from the memory. According to that one, bus interface unit fetch the information from the memory or input output devices through this bus or address lines coming to the execution unit, and the program is decoded and executed by this. So an execution unit is responsible for decode that codes or nothing but decode that instruction, the same time execution of the program. What bus interface unit is responsibility, you can take the necessary information from the memory as well as input devices simply. So you can see this each and every part in this architecture. Okay. Okay. Yeah, thank you for joining today's class.